Okay, so fill in all the missing pieces. The distance from the camp to trail 1, put that on your triangle. The distance between the camp and trail 2, and the distance between the 2 trails, and then find, because we don't know any angles, we have to do log cosines. So when you have your answer, raise your hand, I'll tell you if it's right. So we only have to do log cosines one time because we're not solving the triangle. Just looking for one angle. Okay, we'll just put the numbers on there. It said there is 1 mile between trail 1 and the camp. So between the camp and trail 1, so the camp and trail 1, there is 1 mile. And then it says that there is 2 miles between the camp and trail 2. So between the camp and trail 2, we have 2 miles. And then it says that there is 1.5 miles. Oh, I read that out of order. There's 1.5 miles between trail 1 and trail 2. All right, so there's 1 mile between trail 1 and the camp. There's 1.5 miles between trail 1 and trail 2. So 1.5 between trail 1 and trail 2. And then there's 2 miles between the camp and trail 2. So if you're trying to find this angle, we have to start with this side. So 1.5 squared equals 2 squared plus 1 squared minus 2 times 1 times 2 cosine of x. All right, so let's go ahead and set it up. So if I'm trying to find the angle that I'm trying to find, I need to start with the side opposite, which is the 1.5. So when I set it up, I have 1.5 squared equals the other 2 sides squared. So that equals 1 squared plus 2 squared minus 2 times 1 times 2. And then it's the cosine of that angle that we don't know. So I'm going to break this apart, put it in my calculator. So 1.5 squared is 2.25. That equals 5 minus 4 times the cosine of theta. Subtract 5 from both sides. And that would be negative 2.75 equals negative 4 cosine of theta. Divide both sides by negative 4. So theta equals the inverse cosine of negative 2.75 over negative 4. And when you type that in your calculator, you should get approximately 46.567 degrees. And that would be the answer that I'll be looking for. Our test is a week from today. Any questions about how we got to that answer? All right, we only have one more question, and you have to draw it out and solve the triangle and figure out if it's the law of sines or the law of cosines. So take a minute, copy down example 6. It's our last one. Figure out which law you're going to use and then solve it out. And when you have your answers, raise your hand and I will check those for you. So are you using law of sines or law of cosines to solve this out? I hear sines and cosine. Which one you think? You say cosine? Cosine? Anybody think sine? All right, let's look at it. So I know angle A is 17. And I know little b is 20. And I know little c is 11. So do I have a pair? So if you don't have a pair, I have to know big A and little a, or angle B and side B, or angle C and side C. In order to do law of sine, I need to have a pair. And I don't have a pair, so I have to do law of cosines. So you're going to need to do the law of cosines to solve this triangle. So I want you to try to do it on your own. We're looking for 3 things. We're looking for the measure of angle B. We're looking for the measure of angle C. And we're looking for little a. Yeah. If they told us angle B or angle C, we could do the law of sines, but we have to do the law of cosines. So the first thing you have to find is little a. So start off by finding little a. And if you have little a and you want me to check it, I can do that. Anybody else find little a? Yeah. Angle B or angle C. I always do alphabetical order, so I'll probably find B first. Yep, that's what I got. So 10.011. That's what you should have for little a. So to find little a, it would be, I'm just going to write it out, A squared equals 11 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 11 times 20, and then cosine of 17. Because you're trying to find a side, you can just type that entire thing in your calculator. And you're going to get A squared is approximately 100.226. Take the square root, and we get A is 10.011. Okay, so now let's move on to angle B. So if I'm trying to find angle B, I need to start with little b. So this is the law of cosines that you're going to use. Go ahead and fill in what you know to find angle B. So you're going to subtract the 221 and then divide by the negative 220. So in your calculator, you're going to take the inverse cosine of 178.78 over negative 220.242. So that's what you're going to type in your calculator to get angle B. And when you do that, you should get that angle B is 144.346. So angle B is 144.346 degrees. And now you can do triangle sum to find angle C. So to find angle C, take 180 minus 17 minus 144.346. Yes. You got 140. We're good. Yeah. I really just look at the first, like the 144. Because you might have rounded yours a little differently. That might be why. Did you round one of these differently? Oh, okay. Then there you go. Okay, and then for C, you should have something close to 18. Did you get something close to 18? 18 point something? We're good. That would be good. So 18.654 is what I got. Okay, so next week we're going to finish out Unit 8. We're going to talk about finding the area of a triangle. If you have homework to turn in, make sure you get that turned in today. Work on homework 15 or 16. 16 is the law of cosines. And that is it.